What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sensei the Glove, the bald-head black anime nerd, back with my review of One Piece manga chapter 939, and Old Leopard's claws are always sharp. And this chapter was lit. Like, it started off a little slow with the Hiyori and Zoro stuff, but it ended up, like, the middle to end of the chapter was fucking fire. 1000%. We got to learn a little bit more about Hiyori's upbringing, as well as a little more about Kawamatsu, and then got more interactions with Luffy, Man Hyo, and stuff inside the prison, so we can hop straight into it. Chapter starts out, picks up back where Zoro and Hiyori, and they're, kind of talking. She's basically she's excited that she found out that Momo's still alive, and she gets to going kind of into, this is what happened 20 years ago. And she basically gets to explaining to Zoro, like, who helped her out. After asking him, who's all here, he basically tells her everybody except these 3 retainers. And so she explains who the retainers are, and got to going in depth about Kawamatsu The Kappa, Yo to the Nupes. And although he is not a actual fraternity member, he is a demon, like, fish god. So, like, Kappa is kind of like a fish demon. It's like a fish spirit. Which, it kind of explains, she said that, the night that the fire happened, he dug through the castle and swam around to basically come back and get her. So that makes a lot of sense. Oda specifically wanted to keep him shadowed out, so we don't really know what his design is. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but part of me kind of wants him to be a fishman, because if she was 6 years old when she, kind of met him, and by this time, they had closed off Wano, would she even know what a fishman looks like? I don't know. But I think that would be interesting if he actually turned out to be a fishman. But if he is a random ass demon, Kappa spirit thing, like, we see in, old Japanese mythology, then that's cool as well. But yeah, so we find out that he basically housed and took care of her for 7 years? Yeah, something like that. 8 years, something like that. So it built character for Kawamatsu to show, he really is a good guy. He really does care about the Kosuke family. And I feel like they'll probably do similar things with the other 2, Denjiro and Ashura Doji. From there, we cut to a jail. Essentially, it's like a jail in the capital, not Udon, but a jail that's in the capital that they're basically putting all the traitors. And I'm glad this is confirmed, because this was something that I was thinking about per the last chapter. Like, well, where is all the people that they're capturing? Because if they were in the Udon, Luffy would see them, we would see them, but apparently they're not. I thought at first they were in that little, like, doll room or whatever, but apparently not. They're in this special capital prison. And from there, we get to see that they're basically putting all of these traitors on public display. A lot of people are trying to plead their case. Well, I didn't do anything. This was just a fad. I don't remember joining the rebellion, things like that. And while that may be interesting, I do think that most of these people are probably with the rebellion, because he definitely, like, the Kosukis need an army if they're going to try to take these people on. So it would have to be a large amount of people, I would think. But towards the ending of that panel, we do see that Bepo is still alive, but he's beat the fuck up. So they thrashed my boy Bepo. God damn. He was pretty fucked up. From that scene, we actually see that he still has hope that, Law is still gonna believe him, which he does. We know Law's, he a loyal ass nigga, so he's not going for none of that bullshit. But he's like, I think everybody probably thinks we snitched, but I think Law will know that we good. And I'm like, God damn, Bepo. It had to be you. But from there, we cut back to the prison, and this is where things get fucking interesting. So, as we know, Luffy's in the prison training, basically. He's training, trying to learn, like, a better form of haki. A lot of people have been calling it advanced haki. I don't know if I necessarily want to call it advanced haki, but I guess a haki variation, armament haki variation that lets you basically throw your haki at someone. So it helps you pierce through a tough defense or something like that. So he's attempting to do it, but while doing this, we learn that Luffy has full on future sight. Full on fucking future sight. He's telling old man Hyo, yo, move to the right, crouch down, jump up. And then he's doing, like, you have enough time to tell somebody what to do, and then it happens. Get the fuck out of here. Like, this shit is insane. Towards the end of the fight, we find out that Hyo actually knows the technique that Luffy's trying to learn. They call it Goken. And it's basically, it's something that they use as samurai, which we find out that this is actually something that Zoro has done back in Alabasta versus Mr. One. So it's basically the breath of all things, which is what it was explained to us back in Alabasta, but it's now has a better meaning, which makes sense. One can theorize that Oda didn't really have the hockey thing planned out fully or fully fleshed out back then, so that was kind of his best way of explaining it. But I'm glad that we did get the explanation that it's basically the swordsman, the will of the swordsman. My decision to cut steel if I want to, or cut nothing at all if I want to. But you can also do that without a sword, basically using that same technique just with your hands. And it turns out that that is the technique. And he uses that on Alpaca Man.
Alpaca, that's $25,000 alpaca. You block that shit.
But he uses that on Alpaca Man, and it pierces through. We find out that Luffy wants to use this technique to basically pierce through Kaido's tough scales. And because we see by the end of the chapter that he knows this technique and he plans on teaching Luffy this technique, that raises the question, how, like, are we rushing Luffy's progress at all? How do we feel about Luffy's progress, like, truly? Because on the one hand, he is shown to struggle in just about every fight he's had since after Punk Hazard. He's struggled in just about every fight he's had. You're debatable on Doflamingo, but he barely beats a commander, which most people believe the distance between commanders and Yonko is vast, because I don't seem to think that any commander is stronger than their pirate captain. I don't think that by no stretch of the imagination. So if you struggle against this person, we're now introducing a power that to Oda, it's supposed to be, this is what's going to stop Kaido. That makes everybody think, is Oda trying to set up a 1v1 with Luffy and Kaido? And if that's the case, is that even logical? Like, does that even make any sense for him to go in a matter of days from struggling against the barely beating two commanders to now I'm about to 1v1 the strongest Yonko? That's interesting. I don't really know kind of where to place it, because you now have full future sight, which is OP in and of itself. But now on top of that, you're setting up to have a move that can defeat Kaido. And it's not like Kaido hasn't been defeated before, but do we think Luffy's ready to defeat Kaido? I know a lot of YouTubers back in the Whole Cake days were like theorizing that Big Mom was going to get taken down that arc. Like, Luffy's going to fight Big Mom and win. And at that time, I'm definitely like, hell no. Like, there's no possible way. He tried to punch her and she fucking didn't even give a shit. Like, she's just like, whatever, you fucking small ass ass nigga. Like, it wasn't shit to her. So now that we in Wano and we're actually seeing the man train, like, we're actively seeing him train, do we think he's now at the level where he can take on a Yonko? I personally don't. I still believe in the theory that all the rookies will team up to fight to beat him. I'm cool with Luffy doing like a final blow type of situation, but as far as a 1v1, no distractions, no interruptions, just me and you, I would be upset if it played out that way, just because I don't think Luffy's there yet, bro. I'm cool with him fighting a commander and winning. I'm perfectly fine with that, because I'm watching you grow. Like, I'm literally watching you grow. And, when I sit and think about it, a lot of people in the One Piece community thought that another time skip was needed for Luffy to even grow. But that could not necessarily be true because, you know, as it's explained to us via flashbacks, at this point, the only training you can do is battle experience. There is no hockey training. There is no, you know, trying to strengthen this and strengthen that. You just have to fight to get stronger, which is debatable, but I like how Oda is kind of, he's putting a training arc in place in front of us, masking it with this major ass, you know, Wano Country arc. So I actually do fuck with that. I am very curious to know where this puts Luffy now on the scale of everybody. Because although I am happy that Oda has announced, you know, has basically gone over the fact that Zoro is that nigga when it comes to armament hockey, clearly, you're now giving Luffy those same powers that Zoro had. Are you going to power anybody else up, Oda? That's the question. Or is it now just the Luffy show? Because at that point, I would kind of have a problem with it. One Piece is my favorite anime ever, and I would love it regardless, but I would love to, I don't want you to stop the character development of like other characters, Oda, just because you want to get this story out the way. And that's pretty much it. I thought the chapter was phenomenal. I'll give it a 9 out of 10, 4.5 out of 5. It was really great. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Sensei Le Glove, out.